Hello again, YouTubers on with SpongeBob 1 back here again on the SpongeBob channel. Today is May 15th, 2020. Just yesterday, Nickelodeon, or well, THQ Nordic actually, they released the 6th SpongeBob Rehydrated trailer, this time focusing on boss fights. So that's what we'll be analyzing and reviewing for you guys today. The link to the trailer can be found in the description box below if you guys want to watch the 1-minute trailer or 59 seconds around there. But basically what we'll be doing is I'm going to go through each level in order of when you encounter them, and then we'll talk about the screenshots, right? So first up, we're going to go over to level 5, the Poseidon. So the Poseidon is where you battle Robot Sandy, and as you can see from the first screenshot here, Robot Sandy looks pretty good in 3D. I mean, it was in 3D previously, but you know, now it's it looks more mechanical. And you notice that the lighting is mainly just focused on the main battle area and not so much on the whole Poseidon, the whole arena it's per se. So you have those fish in the stands holding up those light sticks, which is pretty interesting. It wasn't like that before. And you have a lot more detail to the pillars in the background as well. Well, where you get to, you know, attack Robot Sandy's head, the new marking doesn't show the attack icon, but it shows just an X. It just shows an X, so it basically marks where you're supposed to attack Robot Sandy's head. Pretty interesting, and I'm pretty sure there was a part of the level where you can see that little scoreboard that fell in the background there. Basically, you had to take Robot Sandy's head and throw it in there. I'm pretty sure it's still gonna stay there, but we do not have footage of that from the trailer. Also, what we do have footage of is the part where Robot Sandy's arms and feet expand with springs, right? And she traverses the battle area, sorta. And so when SpongeBob has to avoid it by jumping through the springs to avoid Robot Sandy, and apparently it's still back in here. So that's just that. I'm supposing that means that every aspect of the original level is still in the game. Okay, so now we'll move on to actually I totally forgot about this, the Jellyfish Fields King Jellyfish boss fight. So this boss fight was shown off previously, especially in the demo from last year, so nothing too special there. We've already seen that for quite a bit. Just, you know, another screenshot from that. But yeah, so that is the Jellyfish Fields mini boss battle, not the main boss battle. King Jellyfish. Okay, so then we'll go over to the Mermaid Lair. The trailer starts out with this first move, right? SpongeBob does a bubble bowl into prawn, and then he runs over to beat a hambot. Now this area looks really, really cool. It's probably because it's bright and lighted. It's lighted, it's colorful, and of course really nice looking. So in fact, I think this is a great improvement over the original prawn mini boss battle in the original game. I'll go through what I think about all the levels, whether they are better or worse than in the 2003 games, but I'm just gonna go through the rest of the footage as well. So of course prawn does that sound thing, that sound attack through the... Yeah, so basically you just have to avoid his sound attacks. Pretty simple boss battle. Of course, you have a close-up of prawn as well here. And also Mermaid Man. Look at that. He looks a bit weird though. It looks like an a very unpolished 3D model. But you know, I can't complain. Well, the cutscenes aren't really the main thing about the game, so it's always nice to have nicer cutscenes. But you know, Mermaid Man as it is, I think he's fine, but it looks a bit like, those very plastic 3D models. But yeah, so that's the Mermaid Lair. We'll also go over to the industrial park. I only have 2 screenshots of note to show to you guys. The first one has to do with Squidward, as you can see, being frozen on the right there. And a robot Patrick just sitting on the ground. He's probably knocked out after spinning and spitting goo. So he has that robot ice cream there, and he's just sitting there, and of course SpongeBob has to go to his backside and whack it literally with a bubble bowl or with his bubble spin or etc. So one thing I do want to note, look at the icon, the boss icon on the bottom left. That robot Patrick looks so dumb. It looks insanely dumb. It has a really dumb look, which I'm not sure why they did that except for maybe comedy, but that looks even dumber than what Robot Patrick already looks like here. The second part of Robot Patrick here is the part where he is actually spinning and spitting goo. Now they actually have added these red spots to show where the goo will land, so you know where to avoid it. And this kind of reminds me of what they did in Plankton's Robotic Revenge. I didn't play SpongeBob Hero Pants, so I'm not sure if that was carried on in that game as well. But I remember in Plankton's Robotic Revenge, like those, especially for the boss battles, like that robot Plankton would like have the target and then you have time to avoid it, you know, that kind of thing. So I'm not sure why they did this. I'm not a fan of it because it complicates the thing, but it's good for players who never played this game, so they kind of get the idea. And of course, if the game is aimed at kids, this makes sense because when I was a kid, the main level that I couldn't get past was this level. So I'm not sure how this actually helps, but maybe it helps somehow. Not sure. Okay, then the next mini boss battle is that of the Flying Dutchman. So the Flying Dutchman's graveyard, when you reach the end, you have to battle the Flying Dutchman with Sandy. And so first up, you can see how the Flying Dutchman, fires his green flames of doom. His icon looks pretty good, so I'm pretty glad about that. And also, there is part of that boss battle where he shoots lasers out of his eyes, so that part is still in the game. And overall, I think this boss battle is pretty polished. I really like the look of it, so I'm really excited to play level 11 when the game comes out. Okay, and finally, the final two boss battles are the main boss battles, the first one of which is against Robot SpongeBob. Right, so Robot SpongeBob looks pretty gross to me. I mean, his teeth look really gross. I think that's the main thing that puts me off about this robot. Unfortunately, they're not going to change it, so it doesn't really matter. But one cool thing to note, look at the underwear, right? So the health points are in these little colorful bubbles. And actually, I think that's a pretty cool upgrade, like from the clear bubbles we had before. So that's pretty cool. Of course, the platforms are much more, modern in a sense. But SpongeBob is still doing the same thing, just chopping the platforms. And you have to use the cruise bubble to attack SpongeBob. So basically use the cruise bubble, hit those green colored buttons. One thing to note is the move where he raises his hand and swings it around like a karate chop is of course still there, so pretty interesting. And look at that little robot Plankton just hovering over there. So we'll end up the video with, of course, Robot Plankton. This first one is a cruise bubble attack against Robot Plankton. From this itself, actually it looks like they made the inside of Robot SpongeBob much darker, but also more metal looking. Yeah, so that is that. And the final photo that I want to show you guys is, the part where Robot Plankton is shooting those ice beams, or those sort of beam things at SpongeBob, of course, so you had to like jump and then you avoid it. But it is interesting, and this part I think looks pretty good as well. So overall, just let's do a quick review, right? So Jellyfish Field's boss battle, I'm neutral. I don't really like the grass in Jellyfish Field, to be honest. I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but it looks really gross, in my opinion. But yeah, so I'm relatively neutral on the boss itself. For the Poseidon Robot Sandy, I think that she looks okay. The arena looks pretty cool as well. But also kind of neutral on that. For Prawn, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I really like the new arena and the battle itself, so that's cool. For the Industrial Park, Patrick looks really dopey and dumb, but we kind of were expecting that from the level. It does look a little bit less serious than the original 2003 game, which, in the 2003 game, Robot Patrick is kind of intimidating. So I think that was a step down. It's just a small step down. It's just a very small step down. And of course, those little target the red target dots. I'm not sure why they put that in, to be honest. Because, for instance, if you look here, right, in this our final photo, why don't they just put like the robot the targets for where Plankton is gonna shoot his lasers anyway? Is it because it's not a big arena enough, or you know? So yeah, so that's Industrial Park. For you Flying Dutchman's Graveyard, again, like Prawn, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the look of it, and I'm very excited to play it. So that's a plus. It's an improvement over 2003. For Robot SpongeBob, of course, well, the arena itself is an improvement, but the Robot SpongeBob's teeth really puts me off. I think it's really gross. But the Cruise Bubble attack looks really good. So yeah, the boss battle goes down worse than 2003, but yeah, the Cruise Bubble, it's better than 2003. And finally, we have Robot Plankton here, which I think is better than the 2003 version, especially the innards of SpongeBob. We haven't seen the part where, you know, you have to launch the Cruise Bubble into SpongeBob's brain through the tunnels. So that's going to be pretty cool as well. I'm pretty sure they're going to use the same color scheme, the chrome or blue, metallic silver. So we'll have to see. Maybe they'll release another video or trailer next week. So we'll have to wait for those to come out. But that's all for this video. What do you think about this new trailer? Comment in the box below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, favorite, comment, etc. Keep right here on SpongeBob 101, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!